Greetings everyone, welcome back to more Gundam Side Story 0079. Let's go blow up some more Zeeks.
Good job on the last mission. White Dingoes should be proud. Sorry, it's a little soon, but here's your next one. White Dingoes will now commence entering the occupied city of Alice Springs as reconnaissance for the main Red Possum Force. We will then initiate attack on the enemy troops. When you do, your top priority will be to destroy the pillbox clusters in the hills to the north and south of the city, which are the biggest obstacles that the main force will face when entering there. Since this city is located in the central region of the continent, it is fortunately protected from the worst of the colony drop disaster, meaning there are many civilians still there. Take the utmost care and precaution while in the area so as not to endanger them. This especially applies to the water tanks, which are the lifelines for the city and the surrounding area. If they're destroyed, even if we manage to take the city from the Zeon, it'll make supporting it afterwards very difficult. Exercise extreme caution on this one. I wish you all the best of luck in this battle.
Okay.
I have some intel for you. According to the information I got from the Wombat Resistance Group that we encountered on our last mission, Zeon transport trains will move through Alice Springs within the next few days. They don't have any details as of yet, but there's a distinct possibility that they're transporting something very important.
There is a chance that we may run into one of these trains during the battle. I wonder what they've got inside.
Rumor has it that as the Zeon forces began to show signs of defeat, they started loading up their resources and are secretly transporting them somewhere out into space. These shipments may be part of that plan if my sources are not mistaken. They may even be carrying some sort of vital resource for all we know. Lieutenant, I think we should consider stopping those trains that we happen to run across if we're going to see this through. Don't you think so?
Well, we can cross that bridge when we get to it. After all, the trains may not even show up during our mission.
You really are irresponsible, aren't you? However, there's still the possibility that those trains won't even show up. So why don't we stick to headquarters' original plan and concentrate our efforts on destroying those pillboxes and breaking through?
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but that timer down there, it's running slow because it only hits every 3/10 of a second it puts a second by. But the seconds are going by very slow, going by normal. So let's go to the garage, get some new kit.
Hey there, Lieutenant Rhea. Well, what do you know? We're finally on our way. I guess the brass just doesn't understand how long it takes to do maintenance on these things while we're on the front lines. Well, as long as you leave it to me, I'd be sure to have it ready to go no matter how little time they give us. That's one thing you don't have to worry about.
Well, that's good. Alright, I've got a new suit now.
Here it is.
I was kind of tempted to take that because the hand grenades are good, but you know, it was a cool god. I'd rather have Speedy Mac. Alright, we're gonna keep the machine gun for this one.
Lieutenant Rhea.
Large
You're
shield.
taking Lieutenant Rhea. Is this the unit?
We'll get a large shield. Playing around with the mess.
Instantly on.
Yeah, the machine gun's actually pretty good for this mission. Want somebody to have a rocket launcher. No, they got cannons, so now they're good.
Alright, now they can finish.
Fail.
Lieutenant Rhea, I'm convinced that the last battle we were engaged in was just a delaying tactic on our enemy's part. When you stop and think about it, this mission they gave us is pretty darn reckless. Sending in a force as small as ours before the main attack force arrives is far too dangerous. Then again, if it turns out that the enemy's strength becomes divided because they're trying to buy themselves time for some reason, then what we're doing may be coming as a surprise to them and work after all. I think that finding out why the enemy's trying to delay us will have a greater benefit to our future missions. That's the reason why I think the commander ordered us to go on such a risky mission in the first place. He's counting on our abilities. Anyway, we should be extremely cautious when carrying out this operation.
It's called Recon Genius.
Hey, Lieutenant Rayer, were you listening to the radio just now? Jacqueline, that sweet battlefield flower was coming in loud and clear. I recorded her last transmission. Take a listen.
Hi there, all you brave Federation soldiers listening out there. Are you all okay? Your Jackie's doing great, thanks in large part to all your brave efforts. Now, as you all probably know by now, the Federation has finally begun its long-awaited battle for justice and liberty here in Australia as well. And I even heard from very reliable sources that they scored early victories in many places soon after the opening salvos against the Zeon forces. Still, if you were going to do this, I wish you'd start a little sooner. Is it wrong to be selfish like that? Sorry, guys. Anyway, keep up the good work. Jackie's rooting for you here. And now, our next song is...
Whew! She's really got great stuff, don't you think? I love Jacqueline's show. I'll take the next one for you, too, if you want. Oh, yeah, by the way, Lieutenant, if you could, don't mention any of this to Anita. She sort of considers Jacqueline her personal enemy, if you can believe that. Man, I wish she'd just lighten up.
Anyways, witty banter aside, let's see, if I do this... I may do this for now on when I get back to the menu system so that we can do the briefings and actually hear them. Because that music is really goddamn loud. Alright, let's get started on our mission. And Speedy's along for the ride today.
Lieutenant, like Commander Stanley informed us, there are many civilians still in the Alice Springs metropolitan area. I think a lot of them stayed in the center of the city because the Zeon valued the civilians who worked in the occupation base and let them live safely in exchange for their full cooperation. I think it's best if we avoid the center of the city so we can minimize any damage we do. We can then liberate the entire area after the outlying areas have been secured and disarmed.
And if we do any fighting in the city center, we have to be careful not to frag any water tanks, right? Okay, got it.
Man, with everything else we have to worry about, now we have to concern ourselves with that too? Okay, should we try crashing this tea party?
Fang 1, requesting orders from you.
This is not a bad-looking game. I know this is an early Dreamcast game, but this is not a bad-looking game at all. By today's standards. If the draw distance was a little better, man, it'd be bang on, but as it is. Alright, let's, everybody all on their things. Oh, she's got her own thing to do. Wait, pull that up. Okay.
This is Oasis. I'm proceeding as per HQ's plan, and I'm presently
I'm gonna
searching
go
for
in
the
this
enemy.
way.
Since I expect soundtracking will be hard in a city spread out like this, I'm going to hold my position here for a minute. Requesting assistance.
Fang 3, roger that.
Reload. We'll stick these guns towards out. These are going to hurt you pretty bad if you're not careful.
This is Oasis. Have completed the search. That's strange. We expected this to be a reinforced area. There are hardly any defenders around. Anyway, I'm transferring this data to Red Possum as soon as possible. This is Oasis. Fang 3, take special care to avoid firing on the civilians in the area.
Why are you singling me out for that?
Because you're the least dependable guy here. We got him! What do you say we take out another one? A rearguard fly mounted unit's covering us by firing on pillbox mailbox is to the south.
Wrong Vernier.
Calling Bank 1. We're leaving the combat area. Return to the combat area now. Calling Bank 1. We're leaving the combat area. Return to the combat area now. This is Oasis. Have completed mission sonar sweep of the area. Continuing the search. Hey, Bank 3! Let's look alive out there!
Hey, pipe down. Now you can see me in action.
Goddamn Gouf!
Try to avoid destroying any civilian buildings.
Cut you deep!
Bank 1, don't get so far ahead of us.
Goddamn pillboxes are shooting at me.
Bank 2, what's wrong? This isn't like you.
Just wait for a second.
This is Oasis. I'm picking up a vibration noise on the railroad tracks. A train's coming this way.
For a close encounter, huh?
Bank 2, you're taking a lot of damage. Be careful.
I know that. I can still do this.
Ah, you wanna go over here, bruh?
Bingo! Bank 3! Enemy... Lieutenant, I confirmed that a train came into the battle area. Bank 1,
This is Bank 2. Can't stay in the fight. Bailing out.
pilot's escaping. Affirmative. Leon is okay.
Goddamn Gouf!
Bank 1,
Bust you up.
heavily damaged. Be careful.
Okay, let me frickin' sword out of here.
I'm getting a message from the enemy. I'll transfer to
Okay.
you.
This is Lieutenant J.G. Fish Donahue, Xeon Forces Commandant for this
Mission's over.
Fish.
Oh, I can duck.
I have a proposal for the Federation officer in charge. We have no desire to fight a hopeless battle any longer. As I'm sure you know, there are many civilians living here in the Alice Springs metropolitan area.
Yeah, we can learn Mr. Bulls and the horns.
Tragedy would undoubtedly benefit either side. Therefore, we are now prepared to leave the city and hand it over to you. Our conditions are that we must be able to pull out without incident. Rest assured, until we are out of here and have established ourselves in neutral territory, we will not attack you in any way. Of course, if you attack us, we will have no further choice but to respond accordingly. I believe you would prefer to settle this situation in a peaceful and fair manner, as I've just laid out for you.
Got it all planned, hasn't it?
What? You mean to tell me they didn't want to fight us in the first place?
When you think about the damage we might do to the city, these conditions really don't sound that bad. What should we do, Lieutenant?
Let me see scorching on the back of the mechs. Well, I'm about to die, so... And I've done this before, you can let them go. There's their train. And they'll leave. I'm not sure if you can blow the train up and then fight the Gouf and win, but I'm really beat up. So I'm just not going to do that and say I did. Because I did this when I was doing my warm-up for this game. That's what I did. I let him go. May come back to bite me in the rear later on. Whatever. I'm still getting used to the combat in this game. It'll end here in a second. I do know the next mission we'll get a nice fun gun to use.
Lieutenant, I confirm that the remaining enemy forces are definitely retreating from the battle zone. The battle's over.
I guess I'm kind of disappointed. I mean, the Zeeks still have the overwhelming advantage all across the continent, but they pulled out of this place so quickly, I really haven't figured out what to make of it. I've got a bad feeling about this.
I wonder what their abandoning this position will mean for the war in the long run, and for the possibility of any kind of peace process. Maybe it'll have no meaning at all.
And then there was that train. Do you think it was really just a troop transport, or could it have been something else?
The more I think about it, the more it really bugs me. Anyway, our mission's finally complete.
Yeah, we'll leave it to the guys upstairs to worry about the complicated stuff.
Yeah, we did our objective. We got the town secured.
Lieutenant Vish, the train made it onto safe ground at last. The retreating trooping troops in the area had a little present waiting for us, called a burst liner. Are we going to use it?
Well, who can say? But bringing that thing was the reason for making us late for the scheduled rendezvous. The troops will face some kind of punishment. After all, you know, only a fool would throw his life away for glory. Besides that, there was that Fetty mobile suit team before. They were an extremely talented group of soldiers. It may be just a small team, but they had a lot of skill. And their commanders seemed pretty good too. The battles to come should be very fun.
Well, if the sword combat wasn't kind of balls, it would be a lot better. Or if I had an actual beam saber to have some frickin' range on it. Anyways, that's going to be all for today. Let's skip this out.
Lieutenant.
Shut up. Shut up. And let's save it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to turn the background music off. Then we'll save it. So when we come back, we don't have that blaring over everyone's speech. And I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Later.